It's been tough to get all of this together. My flat literally looks like a bomb site. My OCD is, yeah, it's going a little bit mad at the moment. Right, welcome back, guys. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? It is Matt here from Sophisticated Obsession, and welcome. If you have not been here before, it is a pleasure to have you on board. And if you have been here before, thank you. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming back. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be doing another list video. Quite a few of you have told me that you really like these lists, so I'm gonna create one for you. List videos aren't my favorite videos to create, purely because I can't then put all of the lovely sort of B-roll into there. I can't really show you all of the stuff that I've been getting up to and doing like a bit of B-roll for like setting up the flat. I can't really do that. See what I did there? Right, so today we're going to be doing a list of the most complimented fragrances of 2019/20. This is not actually a list that I have compiled, it is actually a list that your favorite YouTubers have made. So I've done quite a few of these videos in the past. Basically what I have done is I have taken your favorite YouTubers, their lists that they have then put out onto YouTube. I've then compiled all of the fragrances that your YouTubers have then mentioned, and I've then put it into a grading system. This is not my own list. I have not had anything to do with this list. All I have done is I have just compiled the data. Let's get into this. A huge thank you to these YouTubers for, well, creating lists in the first place. I was gonna say thank you for letting me do it, but I haven't actually asked permission. I've just done it. So in my research, we have got 139 fragrances that were mentioned in people's top most complimented lists. If I went through all of those, I think that this would probably be the length of the Star Wars trilogy, but I'm not going to put you through that. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about the top, well, I say top 12, but there's quite a few honorable mentions. How I have done the grading system is very simple. For a YouTuber who has then put a fragrance at their #1 spot, so their most complimented fragrance, I've given it 10 points. Then that goes right down to then 10th spot, so if a YouTuber puts a fragrance at #10, I have then given it 1 point. I've then added up all of those scores, and the scores I am then going to share with you today. It's also worth mentioning that the videos that I have then used to then create this list are videos that were created in the year of 2019 and 2020. I think that's everything. Let's just get on with the video. First of all, we have got a 4-way tie for the 12th spot. First of all, with 2 votes and 18 points, we have got DIOR Homme Parfum. I really like the DIOR Homme line. All of the fragrances in that range, they're really well blended. DIOR as a whole is a very nice fragrance house. So if you are maybe new to fragrancing, I kind of think that DIOR is a good starting point. DIOR Homme Parfum got 1 person saying that this was their best fragrance, and 1 person said that this was their 3rd best fragrance. Moving on, we have Giorgio Armani code Colonia. This one's an interesting one because I haven't actually tried this one before. I've tried Armani Code, which I really like. I presume that Colonia is going to be a fresher version of the original. I could be totally wrong though. When I was watching the videos, I did hear quite a few people saying that this lasted really well. Nobody put this at their #1 spot or 2nd place either, but 1 person did put that at their 3rd spot. Next, fragrance 1 is actually created by one of the YouTubers that I have then put into this list, Jeremy Fragrance. The fragrance behind this is office. One person put this at their number 1 spot, but then the other votes were further down the line. Seeing as Jeremy Fragrance does hold compliments in very high regard, I do understand why his fragrance would be in this list. However, the amount of people in the fragrance community that was then really sort of like quite hyped about this, I'm quite surprised it's actually performed not that well. I haven't actually tried it, so I can't comment on it, but I've heard mixed reviews. The last spot, this is PRADA L'Homme. So nobody put this at their first or their second spot. However, one person did put this at their third spot, and then the other votes were further down. PRADA L'Homme is actually a really nice fragrance. It's a clean fragrance. It's very fresh. I'm actually quite surprised that this is one of the most complimented fragrances out there. I just kind of think it's a bit generic or safe, but hey, it's got 4 votes, so it must be good. Okay, so moving on. So we have now got a 2-way tie for the 11th spot. So with 2 votes, we have Giorgio Armani, Armani Code ABSOLU. We'll actually find in these lists that there are quite a few fragrances that are flankers of each other. That might actually have something to do with the very popular DNA that that fragrance has. That might actually then make you think about what fragrance you want to then go for. One person saying this was their best fragrance, and the other vote was one person saying that this was their second best fragrance. Next up, we come to, the fragrance that started it for me, Tom Ford's Oud Wood. 3 people mentioned this. One person put this at their number 1 spot. No, it was not me. Oud Wood is just, that was the moment when I was like, oh my God, I love fragrances. If you are maybe wanting to sort of get into oud slightly, try that. Oud, for the most part, I find quite skanky and just quite oppressive, whereas this oud is so silky smooth, and it's done in a way that's almost like a designery type oud, where it's very palatable. So I am so glad that it is in this list. Okay, next up we come to number 10, and this is, again, a 2-way tie. This is the last, no, it is not the last tie. I'm lying to you. Sorry. First of all, we have a fragrance that I've actually just recently acquired. This is Creed AVENTUS Cologne. AVENTUS Cologne got one person saying that that was their second best fragrance, with then 2 people saying that that was their 5th best fragrance. I absolutely love the cologne version of AVENTUS. It's added like a citrusiness to it. It kind of smells a little bit like AVENTUS, just that cocktail of pineapple and woods. It's mixed then with like the DNA of Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio. I might be totally wrong, but that's just what I get to my nose. We also have Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. Nobody put this in their top 1 to 3. All of the votes were further down the line. Obviously, it getting 3 votes, it is quite a popular scent. I know that it is an aqua scent, but I just can't remember what it smells like. We've got to move on. Next up, we have got a standalone. Yes, finally, we've got a standalone fragrance at the number 9th spot. So this is Versace Dylan Blue. Dylan Blue got one person saying that this was their second best fragrance. Oh, it got 5 votes. Wow. I like Dylan Blue. There isn't anything to dislike about it. It's not as obnoxious as some of the other fragrances that maybe Versace have made. Moving on. So we have got a 2-way tie for the 8th spot. With 3 votes and 24 points, we have got Paco Rabanne Invictus Aqua. The Aqua scent makes it lighter, makes it a little bit more citrusy, just makes it really, really nice for certainly like the warmer weather, which we are heading into, or hopefully heading into. One person said that this was their best fragrance, and one person said that this was their 3rd best fragrance, with the other vote further down the line. Also at the 8th spot, we have got Dolce & Gabbana The One. EDP. Dolce & Gabbana's the one has been out for a while and so therefore has been the subject of reformulation after reformulation. I'm not gonna lie, the longevity of this isn't great. However, it's really stood the test of time. Dolce & Gabbana got one person saying this was their second best fragrance, with then the other 4 votes further down the line. Okay, next up we have at the 7th spot, we have got Versace Eros with 5 votes and 25 points. Versace Eros is very obnoxious. It is very loud, it is polarizing, it is for somebody who is incredibly confident, who is just really, really comfortable in their own skin. You will get attention with this fragrance. It is a classic designer scent. A lot of people are going to enjoy this scent. Only divisive nature behind this is just whether it is a little bit too loud and too brash for maybe some people. Watch out where you are going to be wearing it. If it's going to be in an office, it probably isn't going to go down that well just because it will be so powerful. Eros got one person saying this was their 3rd best fragrance. I'm actually quite surprised. I kind of thought that people would put this a little bit higher in their lists. At the number 6 spot with 7 votes and 34 points. 7 votes. 7 people have been talking about this. To be quite honest, I just don't understand why. I've got this fragrance, I'm just not a fan of it. I like the smell of it, but the performance is shocking. This is Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme. This is a very popular fragrance, or it was a very popular fragrance back in the heyday, but like so many of its designer counterparts, it's just been a victim of reformulation after reformulation. It is a shadow of its former self. It just doesn't last on my skin. One person said that this was their best fragrance, and one person said that this was their 2nd best fragrance, with then the other 5 votes further down the list. It must be something to do with my skin chemistry or just that I've got a bit of a dodgy batch, I don't know. Next up, we have at the 5th spot. So this is with 6 votes and 37 points. To be honest, it is very closely packed until we get to the 2nd spot. It's really, really close. This is Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male. Male, however you want to pronounce it. It has like a sweet, playful quality in the background with then that classic Jean Paul Gaultier Tonka DNA. One person put this at their 2nd best fragrance and 2 people put this at their 3rd best fragrance. Okay, we are getting to the top spots now, guys. At number 4 with 7 votes and 39 points. This is Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio Profumo. Acqua di Gio has been one of, if not the best-selling fragrance for longer than I care to imagine. This is always going to show up in top 10 lists, whatever you see. It's a really, really popular fragrance. It hasn't really suffered that much from reformulation. I don't know if it has had a reformulation in the past, I'm not too sure, but I genuinely do get a very good longevity from this fragrance. So one person put this at their 2nd best fragrance, with then one person putting this at their 3rd best fragrance. Okay, so in 3rd place with 6 votes and 40 points. You see, it is so close. So this is one that I own, but I own a different version of it. This is Chanel Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. I own the Eau de Parfum. I thought that the Eau de Parfum had a better longevity. However, according to this, I am very much mistaken. 2 people have said that this is their best fragrance. That actually is the 2nd best performing fragrance for 1st place. It's also got one person saying that this is their 2nd best fragrance, with then the other 4 votes further down the list. I love this scent. I've been wearing this a lot recently. I think it's because it has that sort of fruity, it's like a sharpness there. It kind of reminds me of like a grapefruit accord. I might be wrong. I'm really, really bad with my fragrances, which is not great coming from a fragrance reviewer. However, I do like then the sort of the woodsy notes in the background. I can testify to say that this does get some good reactions. It's a perfect work time scent. Okay, Silver Place. Number 2. I'm not surprised that this is up here. This has been one of the most popular fragrances for a while now. This has got 11 votes. So 11 people have mentioned this fragrance and it has got 70 points. That is a big jump from number 2 to number 3. This is Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. I own the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum, and I've got to say, I don't notice too much of a difference, but I do think that the Eau de Parfum is a little bit darker. It's a little bit more earthy. The Eau de Toilette has more of that sort of bright ambroxan note. So one person said that this is their best fragrance. 2 people said that this was their second best fragrance, and 2 people said that this was their third best fragrance, with the other votes further down. I'm kind of a little bit bored of it now. You smell it everywhere. It's very distinctive in its smell, so a lot of people will go, oh yeah, you're wearing Dior Sauvage. It's just a very easily recognizable fragrance now. If you want to maybe go for something that is a little bit more unique, I would probably steer clear of this one. Okay, and finally, we come to the gold spot, number 1. It's no shock that this is at number 1. I really hoped that this wouldn't end up in the number 1 spot because I don't want this list to just end up like every other list. However, this list is comprised of the famous YouTubers list. It is what it is. So with 11 votes and 79 points, this is Creed AVENTUS. I know, you've waited all this time to get to the number 1 spot, and you're probably going, I know this already. Don't blame me. I'm just showing you my findings, all right? So before you get into the comment section going, this is a rubbish list, it's not my list. So this got 4 YouTubers saying that this was their best fragrance, 2 YouTubers saying that this was their second best fragrance, and 1 person saying that this was their third best fragrance, with then the other 4 votes further down. You cannot deny that you get awesome reactions with this. I get reactions with this all the time. I've had so many people asking me, what is that fragrance? Oh my God, that smells amazing. Like, write it down for me. You can't deny that Creed really did break the mold when they created this. They've just kind of nailed just the marriage between sweet and woodsy masculine appeal. It just works, and it works to perfection if compliments are what you seek. So there we go, guys. Those are my findings of the top compliment getters from your favorite YouTubers. I have not included my own list. If you would like me to create my own list, then please leave a comment down below and I will see what I can do. As always, please hit us up on Instagram to see what we are getting up to on a day-to-day basis. And if you have not done so already, hit that big subscribe button. Thanks for sticking around, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, guys. Bye.